There is one constant in the Hawk that you only know when you wear it.
It's got a real distinguishable funk.
The one thing that hasn't changed is the aroma of the costume and the honor of putting it on before every game and every event.
I was so proud to put on that costume.
St. Joe's wouldn't be St. Joe's without the Hawk. There's no way.
The way I think of it is, the pulse of the school beats beneath the feathers of the Hawk.
What makes the Hawk so different is its extra passion that it gets to bring to the game. People watch the Hawk during the games, not just the players on the court.
The Hawk connects alumni, passionate fans, casual fans. It's just something that just kind of links all of us together.
I think it's honestly the greatest tradition in all of college basketball and maybe all of sports.
It's cool that you can turn on the TV at a road game and you look at one of the corners and the Hawk's there.
The announcers and color commentators will always take time to mention that the Hawk is there at the game, wherever it is in the country.
I think it gives St. Joe's national recognition.
To say that it was the first, man in the costume for college basketball, it's a great part of the mystique for St. Joe's as well.
Considering other mascots are kind of more on the cheer or the spirit side, we're very much part of the team.
Being part of the huddles, being a part of the practices, that is all part of the experience.
Other mascots will go into their locker room during random points in the game, but the Hawk is always out there.
I always really enjoyed just being the only mascot in the country that goes to every single away game. But another thing that a lot of people don't realize is you're also the manager for the team. So you really are part of the team, from working the practices, being in the locker room.
Putting on that costume and leading the team out on the floor was one of the traditions that was always perfect. The band went, you led the team out, end of the game, you closed it up.
Those traditions are just core. The hand on a player at timeouts, the figure eights, that just happens. It doesn't matter which side, women's or men's.
I remember the first time I did my figure eight, my headband slid over my eyes, so I was doing it blind. I was just running blind.
My biggest fear when I did it was I thought the pants were gonna fall off. So I always made sure that they were tight. Because you run out, you do the figure eight, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
The feathers, you're always going to find the feathers on the court.
An 8-year-old kid reaching down and picking up a feather after you run your figure eight.
There's a grittiness about the Hawk in that you are going to flap the whole game, you're going to be persistent, you're never going to give up.
And you're going to do it every single game without deviation. Joe Boyle's not in that costume. You're the Hawk.
Regardless of who is wearing the costume represents what is instilled at St. Joseph's University.
The bright, vibrant red, the beak being so prominent, the wings being so apparent, because the big thing that we do is we flap our wings during the entirety of the games.
Try and flap your wings for 2 hours or 2 hours and a half if you end up with a double overtime game in a 90-degree gym.
Even if no one's watching, you gotta flap. You still have to do it.
And people would always say, is it tough? And I would say it's not tough because you have 50+ years of history riding on your shoulders. So there's no option of stopping.
When I first started being the Hawk, my roommates put bagels in my hands, and I was practicing in Rashford on how to flap.
I started going to the weight room trying to train for the Hawk. How do you train to just flap your arms 3,500 times a game?
So they would say to me, how do you keep that up? Do I have to get in shape or what? My answer is, put the costume on and it will automatically come to you.
I actually broke in the new suit for that year. So all the other suits were broken in already by Hawks before. It was just so stiff, and just getting used to something super new like that, it was an honor, but it was hard to do.
We had a game down against South Carolina, and at one point, one of the managers got my attention and was like, "Hey, look up there." So I looked behind me, and the entire section behind me, probably 1,000 people in this arena, all flapping in unison.
We lost a tight game to Brigham Young in the finals, and all through the tournament, they couldn't believe I kept flapping. So at the end, they give out the watches, and they called my name, and they gave me a standing ovation.
We all rally around the Hawk. We've made it this simple, given it this weight.
Knowing that you could represent the university at alumni events, at reunions, at weddings.
You have a responsibility to your school, to your alumni, and the people that are supporting you.
I had no idea what journey I'd be in for. I loved all the people I met here, all the teachers, everybody. It's really, really the best place, and it's getting bigger and better, which is fantastic for all future Hawks.
I was pretty involved when I was in college, and to me, being the Hawk mascot was the pinnacle of my involvement. It represented everything I wanted.
It has created lifelong connections and has helped me tremendously in life.
It was brought to my attention from former Hawks when I became the Hawk that I was now part of what we called the featherhood. The students that have worn that costume, you're part of such a unique tradition.
I don't know of any other college that can actually say that they have a community that's so behind the mascot.
I mean, I've had a lot of success in life, but my obit's going to say I was the next Hawk.
I've already told my niece, she is to play The Hawk Will Never Die at my funeral.
It changes with the times, but for me, it's always that Hawk Will Never Die spirit.
I think it goes back to the Hawk Will Never Die.
I live that motto. The Hawk will never die.